There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with a Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast. How are you this morning? How was your weekend? Gilda will be here, of course, at 9 a.m. this morning. But before that, James the Banana Slug will also be here with his thoughts from the Redwoods. Thoughts about his thoughts and thinking about your thoughts if you've thought them and you've thought to send them in this morning. Reflections on life, always welcome. And of course, what an incredible weekend in so many ways. I'm sure people had a lovely time around Portugal. And the Gumpers in this community will have had a lovely time, hopefully, with family and friends and in the community. And, of course, the spectre of the Portuguese fires this weekend dominating some of our minds as well. An incredible video that was shot by Gary in near Alvazra, which we sometimes refer to as Alviagra. Let me show you a picture from Garvo this morning, actually. His video that he sent us, or he sent me some footage, which I put together to share with the world to let people know what's going on in Portugal. It's pretty awesome. And we had over 1,500 views of that over the weekend with a supplementary video from Gary. The view this morning from that part of the country, central Portugal, is like this. This is the view from, it looks like from the top of the world, doesn't it? And Gary says quite poignantly this morning, update, a drive through Almosta north towards the Ancião, and the fire went through some some inhabited parts of the town. Not much damage to buildings, which is amazing when you see how close the fire gets to these places. I say, okay, so you might know the town of Ancião. You may know Almosta if you've driven around central Portugal. His report continues. And thank you, Garvo. Thank you very much, Gary, for your reports over the weekend, keeping people in touch with what's going on alongside the brilliant app and website fogos.pt to keep people aware of what's going on so they can adjust their plans accordingly. Pelma and Fregianda South. I lived in Fregianda for a little while. And we have friends over there. Pelma and Fregianda South have been hit hard with huge amounts of land burned, as you saw in the photos yesterday. However, not much damage to buildings, which is a testament to the Bombeiros. Absolutely. Shout out. Força to the Bombeiros this morning. Beautiful dawn this morning. And that's this picture here. Beautiful dawn this morning. But does beauty hide a dark secret? For today, we shall see, says Gary. And this is the view from another view from the top of the world this morning in Portugal. And as he says, yes, the sun will burn away the mist and fog to reveal the landscape that has been sadly and devastatingly and hugely affected by the fires raging through with the combination of temperatures and wind that we've had. And those temperatures set to continue this week, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. And there's another view up there where the wind turbines are looking across the cloud this morning. Thank you, Gary, for keeping us up to date with what's going on in central Portugal and the fires. Fogos.pt. Make sure you've got that if you are here and you need to stay out of harm's way. If you're not here and you've got property and you want to know what's going on, fogos.pt. And also we'll keep sharing that footage with you should Gary send it in to us or anyone else who wants to send us footage. Please don't endanger yourself taking photographs or video. If it's safe to do so, keep us in touch with what's going on and we'll share that with our community around the world. Deagle's in this morning, Coach Turner, Darren, T-Duck in early, James, of course, getting ready for his performance. Is it a performance? Judge for yourself a little bit later on. Animish Music here, asking a question already for Gilda at 9. I've got a couple as well to ask her. And she teased us, didn't she, about an IMT development possibly. So let's see what happens if she's got an update after 9 about the IMT and driving license swapping and so on. Joao F is in too. Baldylock's Tony, California Buddy. Nice to bump into you in the supermarket, buddy. And Brian Taylor is in. Oh, Joao F gone already. And Rebel Mama's in as well this morning. Good morning, Rebel Mama. Aradiel Pinto is here. Aradiel becoming a part of this community. Great to have you here. Rebel Mama saying 20% of all fires in Portugal are arson. Crazy, literally. Yes, of course it is, isn't it? Yes, a metaphor comes to mind about nests. Stephen Wells is in as well this morning, getting close to those 50 days of shades there, Stephen. And Trevor Jones. Trevor, brilliant. I'm glad you're here this morning because we can put the questions you have to Gilda, of course. Trevor, it'd be good to be connected to you on WhatsApp if you use the service WhatsApp. I know it's a bit of a Marmite service. Some people don't want to give all of their information to increasingly dominating Meta. But Trevor, if we are not already connected, let's connect on that and let's get your question just as you would like to ask it to Gilda this morning. Pippa's in too, as is Connie. Connie, hello. Does Hank have a lie-in? Are you the representative from the Stalika household? And Hank is so tired socializing of an evening that you join us and report back to Hank later when he's got up and gone out for his aguardent of a morning or his cafe chirino. Lovely to see you all here. We'll dive deeper into your comments and chat. I do want to let you know that higher temperatures are coming and will persist this week. So it's very important. We have some news about how to look after pets. I always assume that pet owners know what to do. And it's still possible to learn things, isn't it, that you didn't realize? And I had a sobering reminder of maybe some things I should be aware of as a dog owner, thanks to Jacqueline Branco this morning. Hot temperatures then. We'll come back to doggies and pets, of course, and how to look after them in this hot time with the temperatures rising this week. Will the highest air temperature in Portugal, say Safe Communities Portugal, be set in the coming days? The highest air temperature in Portugal apparently stands at 47.4 degrees centigrade. That will be double it and add 30 for the Fahrenheiters. With official forecasts of over 45 this week, it could be likely that we'll have the highest air temperature ever recorded. I don't know when records began, to be fair. We are a little bit of a dot on the whole landscape, aren't we? The historical timeline of all of the world, of course. But still, makes for a good headline, doesn't it? The highest air temperature ever. There have always been extreme temperatures. They continue with this published on Facebook. A pretty useful community, actually, to be part of, Safe Communities Portugal. So I'll make sure you've got that in the chat as well this morning. And that'll be it's a Facebook link I'm putting in there. Yes, of course they have a website as well, but Safe Communities Portugal is what you're looking for. There have always been extreme temperatures, they say. In Castelo Branco, the highs were 41 degrees centigrade in July of 2017. That's when we arrived here in Portugal, and 43 degrees in August 2018. However, the national record still belongs to Beja, with 47.4 on August the 1st. Morning, Mrs. M. Oh, Jimmy Chew. Okay, he's still having trouble with his hormones and needs to be by my side, I think. Have you come to say hello to Mandela a little bit later on? All right, good boy. Sit down. What do all these have in common then? The national record belonging to Beja, Amareleja. Amara. I'm going to have to, I can't get my head around that, but I'm going to put that in the chat as well to see if you can give me a phonetic, or maybe Gilda will. But in Beja, 47.4 on the 1st of August, 2003. What do all these have in common? They were all hot years with major fires, of course, in Portugal. Pedrogo Grande and those in the center of the mainland in 2017, Monchique in 2018, and the massive fires of 2003. I didn't know there were massive fires in 2003. Yesterday, the highest temperature, this was yesterday, actually published yesterday. The highest temperature was 44 degrees centigrade in Portugal in Alvega. Remember, all these temperatures are the official, recorded, and verified ones by IPMA, taken in the shade. So they're air temperatures, not land temperatures, which must be warmer, right? Or if your thermometer's directly in the sun. However, let us hope not, as this will exacerbate the risk and spread of fires and place even more pressure on those both in the air and on the ground who have to deal with these. And there are some incredible photographs of the the 1940s with incredible temperatures for Portugal. So let me put that. This is the place where the record took place. That's going in the chat now, which of course has prompted in the country, thanks to the Portugal news here. I'll bring this on the screen so you can see it as well. A state of contingency that has now been announced in Portugal for this coming week. So it's not over, folks. You may have seen the video that we published on our YouTube channel, and those really terrifying and strangely beautiful at times. The stills of human figures standing over the landscape, or in the foreground, and seeing an orange distance, horizon. Eerily and strangely beautiful in some ways, but of course devastating on the ground for anyone involved and worried about their themselves, human life, and of course property that's in great danger at the moment. So state of contingency then announced in Portugal. The government, thank you Portugal News for this, has today, this was published this morning actually, only 38 minutes ago on the Portugal News, enacted a state of contingency until Friday. So all of this week, from today, Monday, until Friday, a state of contingency due to the increasing risk of fires in the country. The Ministers of Internal Administration, National Defence, Environment and Climate Change, Agriculture and Food and Health, that's quite a brief, isn't it, have decided to proceed with the declaration of the contingency situation, which will be enforced between the 11th and 15th of July inclusive. This means that we have preventive conditions so that we can automatically and preventively activate all emergency and civil protection plans at all territorial levels. This was the sort of language you got used to in the pandemic, right? It probably means that it's possible for the government to act swiftly and shut things down, as happened in Lisbon over the weekend, right? Parks were closed to save risk of fire. I think it's right that people don't take risks with fire at the moment. I was at a gathering yesterday, a fabulous gathering. Thank you, everybody, including star of the show, Les, 91 years of age yesterday, celebrating with us, dancing with all the ladies, and having a fantastic time. We had a beautiful gathering yesterday. And but we didn't have a barbecue. It's too risky at the moment, isn't it? Who wants to be that person with a rogue ember that starts this off somewhere local and small, and the bomberos have to come out to deal with something very trivial in relative terms, when all of their focus should be on these huge fires that are devastating parts of central Portugal, for example. And there was a big one near the capital in Sintra yesterday too. You'll see all of this and the states of those fires, how active they are, how much resource is being taken to the scene at Fogos.pt. But yes, let's not take any risks. Let's not have barbecues right now. According to the minister, forecasts indicate that the worst days in meteorological terms will be Monday today, Tuesday and Wednesday, when temperatures above 45 degrees are expected in some parts of the country. So you get the gist of that, right? Let's remain vigilant and alert and do what you need to do to stay safe and prepared. And then very quickly, before we talk to James this morning, and then after that, Gilda, with, of course, the Migration Monday Q&A live here, of course, Gilda Pereira from A or EI to some of us, who will be answering questions about all migration matters. So another reminder, via Safe Communities Portugal, via Jacqueline Branco, our friend in Gaelish, remember about keeping pets cool during this hot weather. It's going to be hot for the next few days, so please don't walk your dog from 9 in the morning till 7 p.m. is their guidance. But of course, their little paws will find the pavement, the calçadas, very hot. And also, it's very tiring, isn't it, to be out in that heat when you've got a fur coat on. Keep them indoors during the day with lots of water and cold, wet towels. So that's quite useful. That's something I hadn't thought of. Cold, wet towels for your doggies to lay on. Many of the short-haired, fluffy dogs will suffer from the weather more than dogs like Labradors and Retrievers, who can regulate their body temperature with their long double coat, but short-haired, single-coated dogs can't. Okay, so your hairy chest is not going to help, whoever you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't shave long-haired dogs to keep them cool, says Jacqueline Branco and Safe Communities Portugal. That's not a good idea, or any dog for that matter. Keep them inside with lots of water, cold towels on the floor. A paddling pool, also a great way to keep cool for all of us. Get in there with your dog. Missing a daily walk won't matter, but your dog's life does. Thank you for that reminder. Appreciate that. So we're already a quarter of an hour into the show with those warnings and updates on the fire. And of course, it is time to play this music because we are joined on a Monday morning by the banana slug. But we can't do that until we've heard his music. Twing. Good morning to you, James.
Yeah.
Nice t-shirt. Nice t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, it's my reminder in case I get lost.
Thank you for that. Very good. Very good. Where can we get ourselves one of those? Should anyone else need one?
It's actually from the Earth Island Institute. I don't know if they still are using that marketing campaign, but I thought it was brilliant.
Yes.
They call themselves Earth Island, and then you see Earth in the middle of the ocean of space. It's pretty poignant.
It is a very useful reminder. Thank you for bringing it to us this morning. I seem to have lost loads of comments suddenly. I'm not sure what's going on with the technology, but I've got them back now. That's good. Thank goodness for that. Okay, I'm going to have a little look at those and share a few on the screen, and we're going to multitask this morning because obviously we wanted to update you with the fire situation. Anything around you, James, over this weekend with the fire situation?
Nothing close and threatening, which is a breath of fresh air from my annual needing to evacuate my home in California because the whole state's on fire almost year round now. So fortunately, that the weather's been actually pretty nice. One of the advantages, I don't know if it's happening where you are near the ocean, but it gets really hot for 2 or 3 days, and that forces the fog in and cools everything down. And today it's beautiful here on the coast, where it's sweltering in other areas.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture of San Martino de Porto. I think it was either yesterday or Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And it looked like the sort of seaside resort you would never want to go to, with I think actually rain and like horizontal rain and sea fog coming in early in the morning. That's what you're talking about, isn't it? It moderates the temperature, and then hopefully it gives way to some beautiful sunshine on the beach later on in the day. But at other times of the day, even in the height of summer, it looks pretty awful, doesn't it? I mean, I went up to the cliffs to walk the dogs yesterday, and then the mist was coming in from the sea, blowing up the cliffs and across the cliffs. It was quite dramatic. So lots of contrast, and of course, those winds not helping at all with the fire situation. But something you're used to from California, of course, as you described there.
Well, the fires, yes. The weather patterns from when I was in Santa Cruz, very, very similar. Hot for a few days, then the fog comes in, cools things down. And the fires more interior, very much like Portugal. And when I was living more to the interior, 3 different times over 2 or 3 seasons, I had to actually leave my home for threat of it burning down. So
my goodness,
I was actually looking forward to no fires in Portugal. I understood there were fires seasonally here, but coastally, fortunately we don't have to worry about it too much.
Not too much, absolutely. So what's been on the mind of a Santa Cruz slug this week?
Well, when you wondered whether it was a performance or not, my first thought was, no, not a performance.
Let's see.
It's all about authenticity, I think.
Yes. Well said. Yes. Maybe too much performing in the world right now, and a little bit of a check-in with authenticity this morning. So what's really going on for you then, James, this morning and so far these last 7 days since we last saw you?
Well, not unusually. I still have some residual thoughts about last week when we were talking about changing our thoughts. And I thought it might be helpful to get into sort of the practical application of that. It gets a little conceptual when you say change your thoughts.
Yes.
How does that happen? What do we do? And I gave an example of one of the ways of changing thoughts, which is changing the rule book, or at least changing our understanding of it when it comes to social interaction and so forth. But the whole process goes to the notice, choose, act cycle. And a lot of the thinking part is in the noticing. So if we want to be positive thinkers, that's just the first step. The rest comes in the practice, the application, the choices, and the actions that we make based on those things. So for me, one of the places that I've really noticed it is in my practice of gratitude. I realized, for me anyway, the opposite of gratitude is complaining, because I've complained a lot in my head. I still do, not as much as I used to because of practice, but I'm talking years of practice, well over 10 years. I've been intentionally applying this practice of gratitude, and I still catch myself. I still notice that I'm complaining in my mind. Oh, that guy cut me off, or why are they being, judging people, whatever it is. Yeah. Yes. Complain. So the first step for me, almost always when I notice that, is my go-to deep breath. And that's a good one for almost anything. If you're stressed, if you're freaking out, if you're, whatever it is, breath is a great way to calm and get centered. So if I notice that I'm complaining in my mind, sometimes in my words, much less so now, I'll think it and not say it. When I catch myself, and that's a practice in and of itself, is catching your thoughts, catching the fact that you're complaining if you're looking for gratitude, then taking a deep breath and say, what do I choose? Yeah. What's my choice? Do I choose to continue complaining? There's nothing wrong with any choice. It's just, what do I choose for me right now?
Yes.
It's like, I don't want to be complaining. I want to be grateful. I want to appreciate my life. So, all right, so what do you need to do? For me, with gratitude, it's finding the things I'm grateful for in the exact thing I was complaining about. So in the example of getting cut off on the highway and just about just about dying, it feels like, oh my God, I almost died. And that will cause us to react in ways that are not quite so rational. And, that is calling that guy an idiot, and how could they let that kind of person on the road? And, my car, when I had one, was typically the place that I was the loudest in my negative expression. It's a great little,
when you have your suit of armor on, yeah,
you just don't want to let the rage take over, because that creates other problems. But so I'd catch myself complaining, and in that example, I'd say, okay, so what are you grateful for, James? I'm grateful I didn't die in that moment. That's my first reaction. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm grateful that didn't cause a major accident for everyone on the highway right now. I'm grateful I'm breathing. I'm grateful that, I'm actually it looks like I'm going to make it safe home. Just find the things I'm grateful for in that very thing I was complaining about. And then the gratitude expands to, I'm grateful that I have people who care about me and that I love and who love me back. Those kinds of things. And my mood shifts, my energy shifts, my attitude shifts. That is one practice of creating positive thinking. Like gratitude would be positive thinking. So gratitude is one approach to changing our thoughts, to become positive thinkers. The example I gave last week of rewriting what I'm now referring to as the non-existent rule book. Last week we talked about how are you, and I was reminded of, for me in my life, as I was told to calm down a lot as a child, because I get very expressive and calm down, so I got this subtle repeated message that there was something wrong with me, right? I was too expressive, and that the rules said you need to be calm and collected and essentially not authentic. So I got to think about authenticity in the work I've been doing. It's like, to hell with it. I'm going to be me. If people don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's who I am.
When did you make that decision?
Probably about 20 years ago, fairly recent in my life.
Yeah,
It was
interesting.
a result of my work with Challenge Day, and they're a lot about authenticity and full expression. And I learned a lot about myself, and learning to suppress that right around age 7 is a really marked place in my life where being a fully expressed, authentic child was no longer okay in the world. So it reminded me of a saying that's going around, and it's a great thought to remind myself if I get caught up in, oh, what are they going to think about me? Somebody said, what someone else thinks of me is none of my business. And I like that one.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Right. And I think this is very, very, I do like using the word prescient, and I hope it's useful here, but very appropriate for people moving to the new country, James, who may have put up with the things you're describing all of their lives, of being told things as kids, carrying those messages with them for decades and decades. And here's the point, isn't it, where you can get to a new country. I mean, some find it easier than others, but it might be that the new country gives you license, or you give yourself license to say, okay, I'm going to be who I suspect I truly am underneath all these masks and conditionings and so on and so forth. And yes, it's going to be easy here because what other people think of me is none of my business. And I'm going to take full advantage of being in a new surrounding to have that happen. So shout out to anyone who's thought to themselves, yes, this is my moment to shake off all that conditioning and the masks that I've been wearing forever and ever. Would you see that as a useful jumping off point into the real you, or the real me, as it were?
Yes. The distinction I make is if you're running away from something, you're not going to succeed. It's going to follow you, whatever you're running away from.
Everlasting.
Yes, we talked about that last week with the baggage and the luggage thing, But for me, it's where it shows up mostly is in the expectations of the life you're leaving behind or the life you're moving away from. The people who already know who you are or think they do and expect you to be that person. If that's not consistent with what you believe or how you feel you are, then it's going to feel oppressive. And the opportunity of moving away, especially a far distance, is much less contact with those expectations and being able to live into and actually establish new expectations. People will expect me to be who I am as opposed to be that me I was before I left. And that is incredibly liberating. Is that if you can, again, that notice, choose, act, notice, who am I really? Is this who I want to be? The choice is what do I want to do about being fully expressed and being authentic? And then the action is being consistent with that. Again, taking the deep breath and going, what other people think about me is none of my business. I'm going to be me. There's plenty of people who want to be my friends and plenty of people who won't. That's okay. I'll have plenty of friends. I'll have plenty of people who love me being me.
Yes. Yeah, incredible. Thank you very much for that insight today. Gilda is nearly upon us this morning, James, and I'm hoping you'll stick around as usual. But she can't make the link work. You didn't have any trouble, did you, with the link? Clearly, you joined us on screen.
There was one letter at before the HTTPS Q
or
that
something
was missing.
that I see. Very good. I see what you did. Okay, let me just sort that out. But do you remember? Because there was a time she thought it was down to me not sending her the right stuff, and it was actually a user error. We didn't make too much of that, but okay, let me send that to her now, and she'll be with us presently, momentarily on the screen with us. But yes, in the moments before she arrives, then I do love the idea of the deep breath, because, like you said earlier on, just think positively, just be positively. It's easier said than done. And I think that really grounds it. That gets it in the body, doesn't it? For anyone who's struggling, just to tell themselves to be positive and thinking alone will do it. It's really good to get into the body, isn't it? And to take a physical approach to it, as well as just trying to outthink yourself, which is often quite difficult.
Yeah, especially for me.
Especially for you. You are our living example of the dangers of thinking every Monday morning. He does it for all. Yeah, yes, indeed. So thank you very much for that this morning. The deep breath, folks, as simple as it is, sometimes the simplest things can be the most powerful, of course. And I'm gonna co-opt the idea and urge you along with James, which is I suspect he would agree with me, to when you find yourself in a challenging situation, to do that, to do the breath, to take the breath rather than just having even more thoughts about your thinking. Change the perspective, change the context, and get physical, as Olivia Newton-John, I think, said in the 80s.
And the more you practice it, the more it becomes your default. So it becomes
Yes,
automatic. You don't have to be as conscious.
Yeah.
So your body starts to freak out, and then without having to think about it, your body says, "Oh, let's take a breath." Right.
Let's take a breath.
At first, it's noticing, choosing, and acting. Eventually, when you do that enough, it becomes part of your routine or habitual or your default.
Excellent. So let's set that as a bit of homework, perhaps this week, a bit like the God Squad tip of the day. This is the thoughts from the Redwoods tip of the day, and homework for the rest of the week, if you want to take it on, is when you find yourself challenged. A nice out breath or in breath first, would you recommend, James?
In through the nose, I would say, because very often when we're in that situation, we have stopped breathing. So it'd be good to get some air.
So true, yes.
In through the nose, hold it maybe a second, and then.
There you go. Oh, yes. And maybe with the mantra, there you go. So after that, there I am. You are here. We're back in the room.
Is good. Yeah, any positive thought is a great thing to reinforce that with.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Stick around, James. See the other side of this.
It's Gilda P on GMP every Monday morning. Her approach to self is oh so fine and always reassuring. It's Gilda P on GMP every Monday morning.
The always reassuring Gilda.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Oh, very well. Sorry to throw you that curveball this morning, Gilda. Was that a little bit stressful?
No, actually, it wasn't, because I arrived later. I almost skipped the show today.
Did you? Why is that? And you took a deep breath and thought, what the hell?
I overslept.
Oh, did you really? Busy weekend,
Yeah.
was it? Busy weekend?
Yeah, very busy weekend.
Same here. Lovely busy weekend. Thoughts of everyone around Portugal, of course, that they stay safe. What have you been up to this weekend, if I may ask, if I may be so nosy?
Well, I went to Cartaz, which is in the middle.
Oh.
And yes, we did barbecue with fish, sardines, of course, in a proper way.
In a proper way, yes. All right.
With boiled potatoes and pepper salad. Yes. And then we stayed for the night, and we arrived home in Lisbon. It was 1 a.m.
Oh, really?
And then, yeah, and then we had another birthday party the other day, and it was, the same. It started in the lunchtime with leitão.
Yes.
And it only finished at 11, with a little bit of soup, to come down.
That's so funny. This is the Portuguese way of coming down and relaxing at the end of the evening, is to have a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We didn't know that, did we, James?
I did not know that.
Is it stone soup? Sopa de pedras, with the weight of the stone?
No, of course not, because
it's
too heavy.
Oh, well,
because that's too heavy. We need something like a canja or a vegetable soup or a caldo verde.
I should have known that. A light caldo verde as the perfect supper to ground and bring oneself back into one's body after the rock and roll that is the Portuguese summer. I mean, this is the more we discover about the Portuguese lifestyle, the more we realize this understated rock and roll lifestyle, which starts in June and goes on till about September or October. It's incredible. And to be able to witness it as well and get the inside track, the tips for partying from going to work at 7 or 8 in the morning, unless, of course, you oversleep. And then a hard day at work, and then partying in the evening and partying at the weekends. Don't forget your soup, everybody. So a nice little tip there. Thank you very much. Did you have any questions, James, for Gilda this morning, or as you're handing over the baton as we do on a Monday morning?
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, Gilda, but I was thinking as we were changing our thoughts and our habits, are you exercising? Have you figured out a way to get past that barrier?
Accountability.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that was
not really.
Not really.
Besides going from party to party, and
yes.
and that's quite an exercise, standing there, grabbing a dish, grabbing a fork and a knife and a glass all the time. Yeah. Except that, no, not exercise.
Okay, but given the amount of partying you do, obviously there's a lot of physical effort involved in that, I would say. There, just go on, James. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Don't discount the dancing or movement if there's music. That all counts.
Well, yes, maybe there's a book in this, Gilda, the Portuguese lifestyle diet, or lifestyle regime, where you actually you walk from party to party to burn off a few more calories. You make sure you go to more parties. You move from the dance floor to the kitchen more often, and we can make this work, I think, as a lifestyle regime that will be very attractive to people all around the world, I suspect.
No, because there is a lot of food too. So.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going to ask you again next week, I suspect, as your something of a therapist and accountability monitor here, James, as you are for all of us. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I probably won't keep after it. I was reminded because of some of the things I was talking about, changing our thoughts, changing our attitudes, changing our habits, that this is one of those categories of changing your habits, getting into something new in ways that we can positively impact that. Primarily in the area of non-obligation. If we approach something like exercise as something I have to do, it will feel oppressive. If it's something I get to do and I choose it for the reasons that I choose it, then it's more liberating and there's more power in it. So that
and less guilt. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that takes the guilt out of the situation as well, which is very good in this area of exercise. Thank you for that reminder. And thank you for the reminder, James. Yes, that we are here on this planet together. It's the only one we've got. And we will, there he is. Look. And
call that an Earthrise.
There we go. Yeah, Earthrise right in front of our very eyes this morning. Thank you for your wisdom and counsel this morning. And we look forward to seeing you again next Monday.
Always my pleasure. Ciao, ciao.
And in the morning. Okay,
thank you, James.
Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
I think that's a possibility there, Gilda. The Portuguese lifestyle as a book, with you as the cover star. Maybe your own series of DVDs, helping people get into tip-top condition. But you're probably quite busy at the moment as well, I suspect, with migration matters. What is going on in the world of migration? And are you able to tell us about the IMT development that you teased us about last week?
Not yet, because I don't have an answer.
Okay, all right. We'll ask again next Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Probably. So anything else from the world of migration? Any big news?
They now close all the vacancy for renovation of the cards that were that were expired.
Oh yeah.
And also for the they closed all the vacancy for the Article 15, which is the family reunification with the European Union partner.
Okay.
So basically, they closed everything.
Yes. Okay.
This week, all the vacancies.
Okay. Well, so what are the implications for that? That's good for the people who are able to get appointments, but closed as in resolved, or closed as in nobody can now get an appointment?
No, closed as in nobody now can get an appointment.
Okay, so not a good development necessarily.
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. Anything else that we need to be aware of from the world of CEF and the world in which you operate?
No, now they are, well, they made this stupid change in the work visa,
Yeah.
but it's not something that our group it's so interesting about.
Okay.
That now you need to inform the Portuguese authorities before you hire someone, and you need a report allowing, and that may take months if
Oh.
you want to hire someone. Yeah, so it's not. It seems like there are bad news everywhere in the migration world.
Okay, and that's add to that the close down. Let's have people be aware of their expectations, manage expectations here. The Portuguese governmental system, the bureaucracy, if you like, it is now July. It'll soon be August, if my memory serves me correctly. Things slow down anyway, right? In the summertime. What sort of level of delay can people expect as a result of just summer coming, as well as all the other challenges that were already on the table, Gilda?
Well, all the appointments in CEF that are booked will happen, unless, of course, last week we had the system was down in some CEFs, and they had to rebook, but they did for the other day. Or sometimes when there is a CEF where the staff has COVID, they had to rebook. But they will reassure everyone that is booked. For the visas, there is going to be a delay.
Yeah.
Because in many consulates, people that have a decision on this, they will go on vacation. So you need to wait for them to come back.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a real and present challenge, notwithstanding the challenges that were already there. You can expect a little bit of a slowdown over the summer here in Portugal, folks. We're just sharing that with you so you know, in terms of expectation management. We do have questions. We do welcome your questions, and Gilda will answer them. I will do my best to support in that role. If there were BAFTAs or Oscars given for best performance in answering migration questions, Gilda would definitely be there, scooping the top prize. I might get a supporting role, Gong. I'm not sure. Let's find out this morning. So
before that, how was your birthday?
My birthday was beautiful. Thank you, Gilda. It was truly Portuguese, I'm glad to say. My birthday morning, spent family, of course. Well, the extended family here. I had a Portuguese beer first thing in the morning on Thursday. The kids came in with cake, and then we went to our local restaurant. You'd be proud of me to eat some traditional food. We had a lovely lunch. It was nice and quiet because it was on the edge of town, not the craziness of the beach. But then we walked to the beach and had a swim in the sea. Had a swim in the Portuguese Sea, and then we walked home again. And then it was webinar time and the Premium Plus group. So all in all, had a fantastic day hanging out with my lovely, great big extended family here, and some lovely time with the family at home as well. So thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you for asking, and thank you for your greetings on the day. Really appreciate it. Yeah, superb. Thank you. So first question then. We have, I think, a new name and face here. Animish Music. Can non-EU citizens open Portuguese bank accounts? Has that issue been resolved? Where you been, Animish? We have dealt with this over the last couple of weeks, but just to remind you, yes, because of Gilda and Daniel, they've been putting pressure on Millennium. Millennium have backed down. You can now open a Portuguese bank account as a non-EU, non-Schengen or non-UK citizen. Do you think the memo is getting through, though? Is this widespread news around the country, Gilda, or is that still filtering through, do you think?
I don't know, because I'm not dealing with the other agencies, so I don't know the feedback from. But
okay,
yeah.
But yes, you and your relationship with Millennium is back on good terms, and you're able to open bank accounts for people pretty much.
Yes, what I feel is that that branch is pretty overwhelmed with lots of.
Right. So there's people,
Yeah.
foreigners or representatives of foreigners queuing up around the block to open an account. They need to streamline the process, don't they? Just if we could dwell for a moment on opening a bank account here in Portugal. How many signatures is it to open a bank account? Is it 27 currently on the digital tablet?
I don't know, but it's a lot.
Yeah, because you think to yourself, this is digital, okay? If I sign this, I could just press a button, couldn't I, to authorize my signature on the next document and the next document and the next 25 documents. But there you are with your stylus, like a rock star. It's quite good fun for the first 10 because you're thinking, yeah, this is what it must be like to be famous, giving autographs. And then you get into double figures. You're thinking, is this going to go on much longer? I'm getting hungry or I'm getting sleepy with all these signatures. But there it is. That is it for the time being. If you're listening, the bankers of Portugal, we have a fantastic group of people here who would be glad to advise on what we think would be really good ways of innovating and improving your service. You know where we are every morning, 8:30. Popping in briefly, says Darren, because I can't stay up this morning. Yeah, it's like early hours of the morning in Canada. Interview for a role that would get me working 100% remote. Excellent. So dropping a question for Gilda. Any more info on that new 6-month worker visa? Is that what you just mentioned, Gilda?
No, that's another thing.
Oh.
Yeah, no more news yet.
Okay, but good luck with that, Darren. Working 100% remote is obviously going to be good for your moving to Portugal plans. Before we get into any more questions, I've saved these for you this morning from T. Duck, the Portuguese sayings. We like these, don't we? Res vez campo de ric. There you go. Res vez field or ric. When something happens or doesn't happen by a stroke of luck. So it's just obviously the res vez routine. You know that one?
Yes, I know.
And what is it about campo de ric then?
I don't know where this come from, but
is Campo de Ric the great big what used to be a bullfighting ring that's now a shopping centre? On the
that's Campo Pequeno.
Oh, Campo Pequeno. Okay,
Campo de Ric is a neighborhood in Lisbon.
Okay, so when something happens or doesn't happen by a stroke of luck, it's the skills of the inhabitants of Campo de Ric, res vez, there. Thank you, T-Duck. Another one, perdido por 100, perdido por 1000. Lost by 100, lost by 1,000. When you like these, Gilda, I can see that.
I like because I told this one this weekend. Like really? I was drinking. Someone asked me if I wanted a beer, and I said no. And then I changed my mind and I said, okay, bring me a beer. Perdido por 100, perdido por 1000. Like one more, one less. It's okay.
What difference? So you might as well be hung for a sheep and a lamb. When you know you're doing something you shouldn't and want to excuse yourself from the rest of your mistakes. We like that one. Let's write that down. Deixar em banho Maria. Leave in the bath Mary. When you take some time to make a decision or think about something, going off for a soak, going off to have a bath with Mary, possibly, to talk it through. No, maybe not. I don't know. But have you heard that one before? The Banyo Maria. Oh, the Banyo Maria. Okay, so these are fantastic. And T-Duck has hit a rich seam, obviously, with his research here. Thank you so much. Okay, Banana Slug James, he's so helpful. Look, he's helping people with migration as well as their minds and migration on a Monday morning here. Hola, benvindo. It's not citizenship, but residency that Millennium was addressing. Well done. And Trevor is here as well. Hope everyone is safe from the fire. Sintra fire smokes us out in Lisbon yesterday. So the I don't know about ash, but smoke evident and perhaps drifting across to the capital yesterday from the terrible fire in Sintra. Trevor, you had a question which was about changing addresses on how do people go about changing their residency address, please, Gilda, on their CEF once they've got their visa and they want to change their address, which people do because they move. But it turns out it's not an easy process. Tell us about how they should go about doing it. And tell us what happens when people find themselves in the awkward situation of not being able to do it and feeling like they're doing something wrong. Yeah,
that's, again, that's not a very straightforward situation. Because according to the law, they need to inform CEF 6 months after they changed address. So what they have to do is that they need to call CEF and make an appointment to go there and change the address on the residency card.
Oh, you have to go in and do it. You can't do it online?
No.
Oh, my goodness. That doesn't help, does it?
No. So sometimes it's difficult to make that appointment, but you keep trying. Of course, that in the window of 6 months you are going to get the appointment, and then with the appointment, it's okay because you prove that you are in a good will to inform SEF that in the window of 6 months you try to inform SEF that you change your address.
Yes.
You wanted to inform that you have changed your address, and then you go there with your new or with the deed of the house or with the new rental agreement to inform that you have changed your address.
Okay, now this prompts a question within me because I think Portuguese people might often have one address for quite a long time, even though they might have access to a number of houses. So is it normal for Portuguese people to have a long-standing, maybe even lifetime family address, so they don't have to keep doing these things and changing their address? Whereas your migrants, of course, come into the country, they get their first tenancy agreement, their lease, don't they, for the D7. They think, okay, that's been okay for now, but I'm going to move to another part of the country. Or I'm not sure about that, I'm going to move to another part of the country. And then within a year, they might have lived in 3 different places, which means 2 different SEF appointments and a load of administration. Is that the Portuguese cultural expectation? Is that you don't change your address very often?
Not really, because it's especially for tax reasons. It will give you much trouble. So even for us Portuguese, we need to go and change our address.
Right. What do you mean it'll give you much trouble? What happens? What if you change your address and you don't tell the tax authorities? You're going to get fined or what?
Yes, you can get fined.
Right. Okay. So they need to know where you live.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the same with the driving license.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So if I guess in terms of the driving license, if the police stop you and need to track you down via your driving license, they want to have your current address. So is it the same challenge then with the driving license? You move, you want to change your driving license, you've got to make an appointment with IMT, have you? Or can you do that one online?
I don't know, because I didn't change mine.
Oh, Gilda!
I still live in my parents' home.
Well, this is what I'm asking. This is what I'm asking.
But I don't want to give the bad example.
No, I know. So technically, on a technical and let's call it best practice.
Actually, the IMT was the one that I didn't change. Okay. Was the only one I didn't change.
And so this is the best practice is that every authority should have the right address for where you are now. That is best practice. Obviously, it doesn't always happen for everyone, and people forget, don't they? You move, but what we need to remind people is that the authorities, the driving authority, the taxation authority,
can fine you if you
can fine you, and you have a 6-month window within to change that. And I guess the standard paper trail proof of willingness applies. So every time you ring SEF, maybe make a note of it or send them a backup email saying, I tried to phone you today, I didn't get through. And then maybe next time you do it, I tried to phone you today, I didn't get through. So when you finally have your appointment, you can show them a piece of a paper trail of emails saying, these are all the times I tried to phone you. I have been trying to phone you. I'm glad I'm here today. A year later, changing my address. But guess what? I already moved 3 times during that time as well. So I've got, do you want all the other addresses or do you just want the current one? And probably there's a paperwork for that. But there you go.
They will take the last one.
They will. Thank God for that. They will take the last one. Best practice. The authorities in Portugal need to know where you live now, and you have a window of opportunity in which to change it, and you should. Otherwise, you will get fined. So there you go. Keep trying. We understand the frustration of trying to get through to bureaucratic offices that don't respond, but that's what you're bound to do by law. There you go. Alfred Di Maro. Hi. Good morning, Alfred. Always nice to see a new name. Gary also made an interesting comment about the fire situation that you might not think of. Important, do not park your car on a grass area. The heat from your exhaust or catalytic converter can ignite dry grass quite easily. Something you might not know as a newbie into the country. Thank you for that, Gary. Who also thinks that it'll be great to have an information site updating where the fire actually is. So you mean local website updates? I mean, let's use expatsportugal.com/community. Use our forum. We can get threads going on our forum on particular fire situations to keep people involved. That'll be a very good way of doing it. I tried to do that over the weekend where I put the link to your footage, Gary. So please, folks, if you want to stay in touch as a local community, use the expatsportugal.com/community forum for doing that. D7 applicants need to show past 3-month bank statement or 6 months. Animish Music is getting some good value this morning. Gilda, over to you.
It might depend from consulate to consulate, but the normal is that they would ask for 6 months bank statements.
Okay, so best to err on the side of caution there with 6 months of bank statements. Thank you for your question, Animish Music. Mo Ward is here. Look, you might know this name, Gilda. Bon dia Gumpers, finally joining you live, 3:30 in the morning in Cincinnati, Ohio. Good morning to you. Finally ready to submit my D7. So excited. Gilda, it's been a little over a year since my consultation. I'm finally and he's probably fallen asleep at that point. He's gone off like... He's gone off like Joe Biden at 3:30 in the morning there. You've got a good excuse there, Mo. You're probably knackered, mate. So thank you very much, Mo, for being with us this morning. And good luck, both sorts, with that whole...
Good luck, yeah.
Yes,
everything's going to be fine.
Bit of a God Squad quote of the day then. Oh, yeah, and good luck to the friends we know who are going for CEF appointments today. You know who you are. Let us know how it goes. Read dog walking early and late. Same applies to us humans. Don't go out like mad dogs and Englishmen in the midday sun. And don't forget to rehydrate. There you go. There's a cheeky little tip of the day from Ian Turner, who sent in a photo of Mont Blanc in France. It looked like the hills are alive at the sound of music over there in France. I said to Ian, can you take a video of yourself in your Sound of Music, in your nun's outfit? And he said, I've left my nun's outfit at home. Always pack your nun's outfit, everybody. Faija Dodia is change of heart. Why? Why Capricorn, Chris? What's that about? Such a lovely morning, says Jeff. 60 degrees, 16 in Porto. Lovely to talk to Jeff and hear his story from Jeff coming from Las Vegas to Porto last Thursday evening. Join us. We don't record that one, so make sure you join us live on the first Thursday of every month. Yes, so there is Gilda. Mo is happy to be on the way. And how did you decide what was me that was underneath all the environmental triggers and responses? Let's ask James about that next Monday. Who is the real me? Maybe he can help us with that. Okay, we're going back to the live comments and questions coming in about migration. It's Migration Monday with Gilda from A or EI, depending on which way you want to pronounce that. How do people pronounce it generally, Gilda? Most of your foreigners are calling it EI, aren't they? Whereas Portuguese people would understand the pun there and call it A. Is it about 50-50?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 50-50 on that. I'm hearing James is a wonderful way of starting the day and the week. Thanks for those sparks of deep thoughts. That's what we love about him. What a great Monday, says Gary Orgles. I'm starting a meeting. I'll come here later. Yes, fair enough. Or you can put us on as another member of your meeting on through the laptop there. We're happy to sit in on meetings. Some of us might charge for that as well, of course. I really enjoy listening to James to start the week. Thank you, Connie, for that.
Connie, I don't know where you are.
They are
where
in Porto.
Are they?
Porto. Or if you're American, Porto. They're up there in Porto. I really enjoy listening to James start the week, says Connie. Yes. So how's it going, Connie? Hank's still in bed though, Gilda. Connie does the early shift. Hank has been up all night chatting, hanging out in Porto like you do. You are not responsible for versions of you that exist in the minds of others. Thank you, T-Duck, for that. Gary says, James, it was me that commented that the lady in the Dr. Bayard's factory looked like she was wrestling a giant slug. And now you seem to be... He's very happy about it. There's no need to be sorry. There's no need to be British and sorry about it. No need for a sculpa here. He's delighted with that nickname, and it has stuck. It's stuck to you like a hot Dr. Bayard lozenge. Hello, Gilda from Jim.
Hello,
Winters.
Jim.
These are all the greetings then. Let's do this. Bon dia, Gilda from Jeff as well.
Hi,
from
Jeff.
Gilda. What happened to Techno, Gilda? We have that at the end. We go out with a party, Pam. So stick around for that. Hola, Gilda from Connie as well, and hola, Gilda and Mandela. We haven't had the Mandela update. Hold on a minute. We can't do that until we got the correct picture on the screen. Where's it gone? So many pictures from so many people in the community. Here's Manny. Whoa. How is he this morning?
Okay, so
yeah,
he went to the first party.
Good.
He went really, really crazy.
Did he? Why?
Because there was a she dog there.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
So he was in love.
At first sight.
Yeah. He was having lots of fun.
Yes, I think you paused for a moment. How to describe how to describe a young sausage dog having fun? I think we get the picture here.
Okay, so I don't need to describe more.
Oh,
he doesn't need to get more visual than that.
Has he embarrassed the family at the party?
No, he was just having fun like a young guy. And then he started getting crazy, and he started jumping to the swimming pool, but he did it like that with boom, boom.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, on the next day he was like dead. He couldn't wake up.
He's a teenager. He's a teenager.
He was with the hangover.
Oh, Mandela.
We were like, Mandela, let's go. Huh?
Go without me. Go without me. Has my girlfriend texted me or not? So has that relationship worked out, or is that not to be?
Well, it worked out until another dog arrived.
Oh dear!
Because someone from the family bring another dog for dinner, and then it was jealous, and it was a big scene, and Mandela really fighted for the girl.
Oh, really?
And things got pretty nasty.
Oh dear!
But the funny thing is that he was little, and the others were big. But he fought there like a big dog.
Yes,
he forgot his size.
Well, he is a big dog in our estimation here, isn't he? Look at him. I mean, you've got to be scared if you see that coming at you as another alpha male in the dog world there. And when you just said somebody brought a dog for dinner, I think we need to clarify that is not a Portuguese speciality, is it?
No.
All right. They brought their dog with them at dinner. Okay, so Mandela probably had to be put in another room or in the back of the car, and that was it.
No, the other dog went because he was the last one that arrived.
Wow. Okay, first in. Okay, he gets to maintain his alpha male position. Very interesting. Okay, all right, good stuff. Well done, Mandela, for managing yourself so well. And so proudly there. Garbo, I hope things are better in Alvastra today. Always got to have a Mandela update, everybody here. Yes, I think they are. I think, but we'll find out later on. I'm sure Garbo will have updates and footage for us. Hi, Antonio. Victoria in Spain. How's it going over there? Nice swim on Saturday. Maybe we'll hit the beach again today. Got a crash course, says MD Spicer Sitzes. Got a crash course in Summerfest just a few weeks ago. That's how it goes. How's it going? Have you managed? So basically you're in training now, aren't you, MD? There. And which part of Portugal are you in with these festas where you're having a crash course? Mama's Foyer. Is this connected to the other Mama we know here? There's Rebel Mama. Is it Mama and Harry? And now Mama's Foyer. With a nice big scarlet heart this morning. Bon dia, Carl and Gilda. We got our CEF appointment dates and we'll be coming into Portugal, but we will like to know if we can stay and start our normal lives in Portugal after the biometrics. Gilda.
Of course you can.
There you go. After the biometrics.
Even before.
Yes, and biometrics, so everybody knows, it sounds like you could be having a bionic limb installed or something like that. Not part of the D7 visa. This is a photograph, fingerprints. What else is required in biometrics? DNA sample?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's only a photograph, fingerprints, and a signature.
And your signature, just the one. And I noticed that I was looking at Portuguese facts over the weekend, Portugal were the first country, if not in the world, then certainly in Europe, to have fingerprints on the ID card back in 2008, right?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Super. In Belfast, it's a Chinese or pizza takeaway after a late night party. See, this is why the Portuguese people are so cultured and civilized. You're not going to have a greasy kebab on your shoes by Sunday morning. You're going to have some cultured and refined soup, probably a caldo verde, as we heard earlier on. The Lagoon has incredible trails. Where are you, MD Spicer? We need to know. This sounds good. There are many lagoons in Portugal. Which is yours? We are unsure if our kids can join the schools for resumption in September while waiting for our residence card. They can, can't they?
Yes, they can go to school because our constitution says, and our law also says that everyone that is a minor, despite having the residence card, they can enroll public school or private school also.
Okay, good
so
news.
They can go to school.
Okay, good news for minors coming to Portugal then. Excellent stuff. This is good news just in from Jim. I've heard that just thinking about exercise counts. So there you go, Gilda. That's really good to know, isn't it? It was sad to see the Moinho in Avacasta burned down. What? We used to cycle to Avacasta when we lived in Almogadale. I'm sorry to say that I didn't know about that, but this is terrible. What's going on? Of course, thankfully, I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any loss of human life, which is great. The creatures, of course, that's a different story. Although I was hearing about fires. Talking to Bob yesterday, they set the horses free in California, apparently, or in other parts of America, because the horses know what to do. So hopefully, other creatures also knew what to do when the fires came, and there wasn't too much devastation in the natural world. But places that people are attached to and have fond memories of, as you can see here, have been lost over this last weekend. And beware, folks, we are going into 3 more days of hot. Very high temperatures. That's right, Gilda. I mean, what's it like in Lisbon at the moment when it's getting into the 40s?
It's very hot. Well, I'm lucky that when I'm not in the office, I'm in more close to the beach, so the air is not so suffocated, not so hot when I stay home. But in Lisbon, it's with the pollution, it's unbearable.
Yes. Okay. And what are your strategies for doing that? Staying out of the city, basically, and going on holiday. Yes.
Staying home or working from home.
Look at this. Here's more advice. Hire a personal trainer, a handsome personal trainer that could get you to the gym. Is that what you do, Emily? I wonder.
Emily, I'm going. Let me explain to Emily what happened. Yeah. I tried that before. Okay?
Did you? Okay.
Yes, wow. I tried that before.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I hate so much doing exercise that the first weeks, I thought it was fun. Okay, but then I looked at the guy and I started looking at him and I was like, I hate you. I hate you. And just the thought that I was going to meet the guy, it put me with a bad humor, and he felt so uncomfortable that one day he said, I'm sorry, Gilda, I feel that you don't like me. So maybe you should try someone else. And I said, you're right. I should try someone else.
You didn't try and protect his feelings.
No, I didn't.
Your opinion of him is none of his business, as we discovered.
So our relationship didn't work for long.
Wow. And I would have that down as a typical Portuguese exchange. Portuguese people are quite direct with each other, aren't they? I can't imagine British people having a similar exchange. That would go on for months, possibly years, of people struggling and not saying anything. Passive aggression would develop. All sorts of psychological problems and illnesses could emerge from a relationship like that. Portuguese people, the trainer says, I don't think you like me. You're right, mate. I don't like you. Let's stop this nonsense immediately. Okay, have a good life. Goodbye. Done. Finished. That is really healthy. That is some mental hygiene right there. Thank you very much for sharing that anecdote with us.
I cannot imagine the other way around. Why should you be pushing a relationship that it's not good for you?
Well, you don't understand. You see, you're not British. There are people in the UK right now, maybe even watching, Gilda, who have been with a personal trainer for 35 years. And they've never liked them since about, I don't know, the third time they went to the gym and were put through an ordeal of some sort. They've hated that trainer. But it's very difficult in Britain to be direct with people and having a grown-up conversation in the one that you described. And this person will be at the pub saying, I haven't lost weight. In fact, I've put weight on just as an act of revenge on my trainer. And the trainer will be at the pub saying, I can't believe it. This person just doesn't do anything I asked them. It's been 35 years now. I don't think the relationship's working very well. And it will go. And they won't say anything to each other. It's hard to believe, but it goes on. It goes on. And maybe that's part of Brexit and everything at the moment, and why would they elect somebody like Boris? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for sharing that anecdote, and maybe as an inspiration to other people. I mean, when it comes to being assertive, you're clearly no slouch. Maybe you're quick off the blocks when it comes to just being direct with your personal trainer and other fitness analogies. Happy Monday, everyone. May your clothes be comfy and your coffee strong. What a lovely greeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Pooches are calling for their walk. Hope to be back soon. Michelle, enjoy your walk. Keep those dogs out of the heat. I need a lawyer in Portugal. Anyone can help here? Too right we can. Daniel Reyes of Reyes and Pelicano. And all the lawyers, of course, at Gilda's company, EI Hakim. I'm glad you're here this morning. Thank you. From Roskan Mohammadi. Hello. What is the likelihood of being accepted for residency if you have a criminal record? Great question, Roxanne there. Please, could you answer that? It's not prohibited, is it, moving to Portugal with a criminal record? It depends on the nature of the crime, I suspect.
Yes, it depends on the nature of the crime. We need to convert it into the Portuguese code, criminal codes, and it needs to be equal or less than 1 year of a crime that is less than 1 year of the penalties needs to be less than 1 year of jail.
Okay. So there you go. It's not prohibited. It is possible, and I suspect a call with you would be useful in this regard, right? To go through the specifics with Roxanne here. There you go. Okay. Let's move on. Maybe IMT needs to turn their computer off and back on again. Yeah, it sounds like Seth did that, so maybe IMT could follow suit. Call tech support and see. Maybe you could be tech support for MT Duck. You may know a thing or two that could help. Hi, Carl, Gilda, are there any changes or delays for the D7 process? Thanks. Well, Mo first consulted with you last year. What would your update be for Mo since 12 months ago?
Yes, there are more delays now because more people are applying.
Yeah, okay.
The queue is longer now.
The queue is longer. Anything else?
And I don't know. I think that at the time it was not required 12 months lease agreement. You could show a promissory rental agreement. Okay.
All right. There you go, Mo. Good luck with that. Bearing the banana slug banner is not an obligation but a joy. Thank you for your contribution to that. There you go. Straight from the slug's mouth, not the horse's mouth. WhatsApp number given to. Okay, so we have an appeal. There is a situation that a lady called Elizabeth is in. I suggest, Elizabeth, you call me at 10. We'll extend the show so that you can tell people about this difficult situation you find yourself in, where you're caring for animals and you've had a number of devastating setbacks. Please stay tuned for that after Gilda has left us. Forgive me, Elizabeth, for not recognizing you with you. I thought it was one of these numbers where people just send me a WhatsApp message like, can you ring me? And I don't know who they are. I find that a little bit infuriating. I do need a little bit of an intro and a bit of context, but I do know exactly who you are, Elizabeth, and I look forward to talking to you and hoping that our community can help you in some way at 10 o'clock. So I've sent you a link. You can click on that. It's as easy as Gilda and James have found it this morning, or you can just call on this number and talk to me on the phone line this morning after 10 o'clock. So thank you. Please do that. Gilda, are D7 approvals from San Francisco still at the 10 to 12 week timeline for approval? What's your call on that, Gilda?
I think it's more 12 to 14.
Okay, so a little bit longer there, as in the way that Mo was asking. The sheer volume of applications is creating delays here. Okay, thank you for that question, Jeff, and thanks again for being our excellent guest on Thursday evening. 17, it's only, I was exaggerating for comic effect, but still, 17 signatures is still quite a lot, isn't it, to open a bank account? Enjoy each and every one of them. Take your time, take a deep breath. Mama's Foyer, once you get your visa, you can stay here for 4 months, and then your CEF appointment will give you 2 years more. What would you be waiting for? Thank you, Rebel Mama. And another new name here. Hello, Zakari. Good morning. What types of authentication needed for the tenancy contract to be acceptable to Portuguese consulate for the V7 application? I think D7 we're talking about. Okay, over to you, Gilda.
The signature of your tenancy should be recognized by a solicitor or a lawyer. That should be enough.
Okay, there you go. That's the authentication required. Hello, Zakari. Did you want to say more on that, Gilda?
Well, unless your consulate will ask for an apostille.
Okay, there you go. Good luck with that. Gary, there are a couple of reports in the press about people coming back into Portugal being prosecuted because they have lapsed residency paperwork, even though they have the scan code. What should they do? Who are these people? Is this golden visa? Is this Brits who've fallen foul of not changing to the QR code? What's the deal? Do you have anything to say about this before we get more information from Gary? I mean, it sounds like golden visa to me, or it could equally apply to Brits. It doesn't look like it's ringing any bells for you, Gilda. Now, give us a bit more background on that, Garvo.
No.
O assunto, this is a Portuguese saying, I think. O assunto fica águas de bacalhau. So the water of bacalhau, good for keeping flies away from the house. But what is being said here?
It's saying that what always happens with CEF, things stay, never moves. It's always in the same. The thing that happens with the British, with they getting the residency.
Yes.
It's in Águas de Bacalhau for forever, since 2000.
So I think that's what we're going to be using here. So it's still in the Águas Bacalhau.
Yeah.
And it's because people are only meant to soak the bacalhau for maybe a day, but sometimes they leave it today and it just stays there. I'll get round to it. And then before you know it, okay, get it. I always give 100% through the week. That'll be 14% on Monday, 30% on Tuesday, 30 on Wednesday, and 24 on Thursday, and 2% on Friday. Nice one, Simon. Oh, did not know about CEF address change. We'll do ASAP. Obrigado. You're welcome. De nada. To you, Rebel Mama. You see, always learning something. Even the veterans of the visa situation learn something on a Monday morning. With regards to golden visa, can one take bank loan for property home from Portuguese bank, or is it not allowed?
No, it's not allowed to take loans for the golden visa program.
There you go. And we want to move. What's this? To Otto next year. Is Otto a place in Portugal, or are they talking about Ottawa? I wonder. Do you know of somewhere called Otto in Portugal? No. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we have got more questions coming in. Somebody flashed onto the screen called Francois. Maybe that you're connected with Elizabeth. Help me out here, folks. I need to know your names if you're joining me behind the scenes on the show. Glad to help. Gilda, the Searle Embassy finally said they would process my documents. Hey! Sent in April with the highest priority. What does that mean? Yeah, what do you think? I might get a visa later this month, in August, September. What do you think highest priority means, Gilda? Straight after the holiday?
I think no. I think if it's highest priority, it's going to be before the holiday. Let's keep positive.
Let's keep positive. Wait, if we change our address with Finanzas, do we still need to change it with CEF? I'm guessing yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naughty shield. Okay, Lee said about that better. Portuguese people.
Why not? Because of me.
Portuguese people don't need to deal with theft if they change address. Just the conservatorio and finanzas and IMT. Yes.
No,
Okay.
that's not true.
Oh, really?
You need to change the SEF card.
But not if you're Portuguese, right?
Of course, if you're Portuguese, we don't need to deal with SEF, but we need to change on our identity cards
There you
with
go.
because our address it's not on the identity cards, but we need to change it online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. It's absolutely right, Pam. Thank you. Is there a reason the process of registering a change of address can't be centralized? The obvious question. So
that should be in 2050.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that forecast. Is that data protection that they can't have overlapping records?
No, it's just they're being disorganized.
Inefficiency, and terribleness, basically. Bon dia, one and all. Back in Colorado now, and miss the wonderful time we had with all those we meet and met. John and Pam, it's so lovely to meet you, and thank you for the photograph. This doesn't do it justice, but we get the feeling that I think this is Nebraska and the great wild open spaces of America. I get a sense of that from this picture. I don't know if anyone else does, but thank you for your pictures while you were here, and now you're back in the United States, and we're looking forward to seeing you again soon. So we want to tell us more, Maureen Manning, about Otto. Maybe it's Porto or Porto that you're talking about. Gilda, we sure wish we could have met with you as well there. Mika W. Hi, Gilda. What financial proof must one provide for the D7 renewal for a single person?
Renewal. So you should show some savings, at least that you are able to sustain yourself for 2 years in Portugal. And you should show that you have passive income that is equal to a Portuguese minimum wage.
There you go. Okay.
That is 705 euros.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for answering that, Gilda. A little bit of extra information, health information here from Matty. Carl, drinking beer is not keeping yourself hydrated. Actually, the doctor said it was pretty good. It was pretty good for hydration purposes, just to clarify, although I know some people would like that not to be the case. Also, who was it who sent me that lovely research to suggest that 1 mini or thereabouts a day was actually very good for gut health as well? So that's really good news. Jimmy Chu is here, everybody. Having a little. What is it? You want to say hello to Mandela? Be careful. Don't get yourself knotted around my headphones again. Do you remember the time you pulled all the lighting over? That was a terrible moment in the studio. So Raj is here. Bon dia, joining after a long week as I was traveling. Great to have you back, Raj. It's 0 day. Andrew Gilchrist is on the way here, possibly. Yes, in transit. Well done, Lord Gilchrist. Gilda from Andrew as well, while he's about it. And to answer your question earlier on, my goodness, we are going back a bit here. Gilda, we're in Villanova the Gaia and loving it, just so you know. Mandela! Thank you, Gilda. Mine was a cakewalk because of EI. Now things seem to be more complicated. Okay, so a testimonial, a great testimonial for EI there and you, Gilda, but complications have developed. How can we help, Raj? So there you go. This Soul report, very good. Hang on in there. Highest priority might even mean highest priority. You never know. Maddie needed a cold shower, so he jumped in the pool. He did. Hank and Mandela, kindred spirits. Is that how Hank behaves when you take him to a party? I hope not. A dog should be neutered and spayed. Snip him, Jill. That's harsh. Look at that. Do you think that would stop him, or are you gonna give him the procedure to help tame his?
What's that? Snipped him.
How do I put this? Do you know what? I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to let other people answer that. what the snip is. So, all you, in fact, Rebel Mama, right back at you. What do you mean by snip him, Gilda? That is so cute. Hi, I did a D7 inquiry via Facebook. Well, you're doing it here now as well. So, Harinda Disaniyake, what's your question? Mandela's girlfriend was a dog alma. Is that a great big Portuguese water dog? Possibly. That could be awkward. Little dogs don't know they're small. Getting a lot of love for Mandela. Well, Carl, I think my dogs would rather think of Mandela as the sausage part than the dog part. All right, steady on, big owner. But it's probably time to have Mandela fixed. That also means slipped. There are too many abandoned dogs in Portugal. Yes, okay. Because I need to empty my apartment in Amsterdam and get things arranged so that I do not have to return for signing the DD end of August. Den Haag, where my girlfriend's house is. Oh, okay. So it's explaining yourself to everybody here. Well done, Matty. Carl, Mama Foyer is Mama's boo. There you go. I'm using my second YouTube. I thought so. I could feel that. I could feel it through the force coming through in the community this morning. Apart from myself, who is the best to value and document non-liquid assets? What are you talking about, Simon? Does anyone remember the movie Arthur? The mother had a trainer come and dance in front of her to get her heart rate racing. You could do that. raise your heart rate by watching somebody dancing. That's going to be expensive, though. Our Bomberos, your heroes. Yeah, shout out to the Bomberos. The close fire this morning has been put out in less than 2 hours. I'm going to take them something. Yeah, they need water, don't they? Energy bars. Whatever you can. Yeah, what were the ideas for donations? I think water and energy bars. What else do you think, Gilda?
Some fruit also.
Fruit. Okay, yes, some good. Some good fruits, some hydration right there. Okay, and maybe some beers for later. You know, a pack of Sagres or Superboc when they're off duty wouldn't go amiss. Gilda, can you do exercise that's fun? Help out with some cute animals, something that feels less like exercise. I think you've probably got enough to do with your time, haven't you? You need a little kind of hack, don't you, that could fit in with your busy lifestyle there. US citizen, Portugal resident, just started as a remote contractor for a travel company in the US. Nice one, Doreen. Great to hear from you. They have a company in Portugal too, but I will work for the US branch. I know I'll pay taxes in Portugal, but do I have to register somewhere as a remote contractor? Also, I was approved for NHR already, but will the brand manager, travel designer role qualify for that? What do you think there, Gilda?
I would have to check the list on that.
Doreen, get in touch with Gilda at the office.
Yeah, I need to check if on the list if a brand's travel designer is qualified for that.
Okay, so go to expatsportugal.com/business directory. I will put that into the chat for you now for anybody who wants to get in touch with Gilda, because Gilda, we are quickly running out of time here. And we want to just address as many of the questions as we possibly can about anything to do with migration on Migration Monday here. So how long is the queue? I mean, that's how long is a piece of string? It varies, doesn't it? But it's longer. Can you give any more clarity than that?
It depends from consulate to consulate.
Yeah, okay. A few quick fire ones now. Gilda, can my son and minha nora use my address for their decent visas? We will consult you when the time comes, but I want to tell them to see them soon. Morning, Mandela. So can you use, if you're established here and you're a parent, can you use your address for your children coming to Portugal?
Yes, you need to make an invitation letter. You need to take a certified copy of your residency card, and also a certified copy of your rental agreement.
There you go. Gilda, morning, Fiona. For D7, if the person has purchased a property, will they still need a lease agreement?
No.
Won't, will they? Milk was also suggested for the Bomberos, obviously UHT rather than fresh. Hi, Gilda from Pamela Harrison. Are the visa delays greater in different countries, i.e. UK versus USA? I think we can say yes. They vary around the world, don't they?
Yeah, but UK is still faster.
Okay, UK is fast. Good. Firefighters all over the world are heroes. Yes, shout out to all the firefighters worldwide. Pescadinha is another one from Maxine. Pescadinha con rabo na boca. What does that mean?
This happens a lot also in our bureaucracy world. Okay.
Yes.
Like you need. It's very funny because you need to be registered in health center to go to the IMT, but to be in the health center you need to have the you need to have the many things, so you need to go around and around and around. It's like a pescadinha de rabo da boca, and you never end, because you go to one place and they ask something, and then you go to the other place and they will ask to have another thing, and it's always around and around.
So is this a fish chasing its tail, or its tail?
Yes, it is. No. It is a fish tailing. Yeah.
Thank you, Maxine, for this. We are. I can confirm we are actually overwhelmed with comments now. Please get them in early. It's 10 o'clock. Good show today, Gilda. Always makes me smile. Ciao, ciao, amigos. Mustache. I think a few other people are. Shanu, sorry we couldn't answer your question. World Traveller, similarly. We got to get these in early. Regulars, please make way for people asking questions afresh as well. I'm going to find some way of dealing with these. CMOS is excellent for gut health. There's so much going on in the show this morning. Spain seem okay, but every other country does not understand what CEF is doing. Yeah, this was going back to, I think, Germany stopping and fining people. They have the QR code, but were flagged by German border control, and they've been prosecuted for staying more than 180 days in the EU, even though... So what can be done about that particular and important situation, Gilda?
Yeah, that is what we have discussed before. It's Portuguese authorities think it's okay just to have that paper, but then they are stuck in other airports because they don't understand, and they don't have to understand the Portuguese situation.
Yep, indeed. It's a horrible situation. Of course, that's part of the federal law coming in, isn't it, about staying too long in the EU, even though you've been compromised by CEF. Gilda, here you go. Nom de plumes, snip. Castrar. Okay, so if you ever hear anyone saying castrar in Portuguese, run! Okay, I think that's probably have to be it for now. Mommy's boo is mama's for you. Okay, so we got that. Thanks, Gilda, and also Rebel Mama for the help this morning. Andrew Gilchrist has done his headlight stickers. It all needs to be done. Make sure you've got that yellow vest and the triangle in the car as well with you, Andrew. Bon voyage to you. I am so sorry we didn't get to all the questions this morning, such as what are the chances of long-term rental property in Porto. Speak to Casa Portuguesa, quickie there. Casa Portuguesa will help you with that. Also in our business directory, I'm going to make sure you've got the link for that in the chat now. Everybody, so that you can get in touch with Gilda and team, because we need to go, I think, to the Algarve in just a moment with an important appeal where we're looking for your help, everybody in this community. But Gilda, for the time being, another incredible session this morning, full of all sorts of information, not just about migration, but Portuguese lifestyle, culture, health issues. It's always so much fun talking to you. We will see you next Monday, of course. Thank you so much. Would you like the last word for this particular segment on anything we might have missed that you wanted to say?
No. Just have a great week and have fun and prepare yourselves for the next weekend.
And do a bit of dancing now. So we're taking that advice. We are dancing and losing at least 3 calories this morning. We will go out with Gilda's rave music. Gilda, thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jim, for that comment. Thank you, OLP, as well. It's our pleasure to help you on a Monday morning, and glad it's a useful start to the week. Let's go now. We're staying online a little bit longer to talk this morning. I was expecting Elizabeth, but I suspect Francois is also connected with Elizabeth. Good morning to you, Francois.
Hello, good morning, listeners. I am Francois, and I am the Vice President of Association Vale Verde in Cercal do Alentejo, and that is an animal rescue service and also for people in need. And we have a huge problem, and that's why I am here with you at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to find out all about that, Francois. So forgive me, you're in the Alentejo, not in the Algarve. Tell us a little bit about the background then. You're a project that helps people and animals, or anyone in need of, any beings in need of support, by the sound of it.
Yeah, well, we've started this in 2018 together
Oh, you seem to have frozen up there. Let's see if you come back in just a moment. Oh, that's unfortunate. We seem to have lost. I certainly have. I don't know if everybody else has, Francois. I don't know if you can give you a router a kick or a restart or something like that. But I will see what I can do to find out more information about what's going on, because Elizabeth was in touch with me. I'm going to keep an ear open for you. Yes, I do have some background information here that I'm going to read to you now from Elizabeth originally. So I think I'll hear you if you come back. I need to read from a different screen right now, but we need help, says Elizabeth. We'd rather not have to ask, but there are times when we can't help but do so. With more than 60 animals in our permanent care and many others that need our help in rescues, veterinary care, food, etc., the expenses are infinite, unlike the help we receive and that never arrives. So we don't despair whenever the belt tightens and we get even more cases of animals in need of urgent help. I understand that vicious cycle there, Elizabeth. In order to continue to care for the various dogs, cats, horses, goats, poultry that we are responsible for, we need to raise funds to buy feed, hay, and pay for veterinary costs of neutering, deworming, and vaccinations for all animals. We receive calls for help every week. We respond to everyone we can help, and often at the limit of our financial capacity. We welcome more lives that need to be rescued, rehabilitated, and resettled. We couldn't close the door on them, but we also can't keep doing it without the help of those who understand why all this work is important. Without the help of those who follow our work and understand the importance of their mission, it is impossible for us to continue. Please, if you believe in our work and the importance of continuing to save these animals from abuse, neglect, and death, please consider making a small donation. We really need everyone's help so we can continue. Now, I've got some details because I think there's been an added complication here where you've had a difficulty, Francois and Elizabeth over there, with some infrastructure breakdown, which means that you're having to physically move water around. So, folks, I honestly don't know a great deal about this project. It seems to me to be in need. Do your own due diligence on this, but you're looking at Association AV Valverde. There, if you could make some sense. I think there's a little too many letters in there, but that's the situation. That's the project that Francois is talking about, and I think we might be able to get him back on the screen again in just a moment. Yeah, okay, Francois, we've got you back now. I've done my best to explain to people who you are, but have you had a recent complication? Have you lost your water supply? Is that part of the problem at the moment?
Well, that is the biggest problem at the moment. We have our own well. We have our own well and our own water pump. But the water pump gave up, so we cannot pump any water at the moment. And that is the first need for the animals here. We have 25 dogs, 34 cats, 2 horses, a goat, a lot of chickens, ducks, and they need water. Yeah. So at the moment we have 2 people here on site who are helping with the animals, and they are now walking to Areal with empty bottles to get water. Well, that's quite an issue because we have here the hills up and down, so that is not very easy, and it takes a lot of bottles because you can imagine with that loads amount of animals and people, we use a lot of water a day.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
We have called the bomberos here in Circle for maybe a solution that they can bring water. Yeah. Well, they can bring water. We can get 5,000 liters from them, but that will cost us 180 or 190 euro.
Okay.
And that is something what we don't have. Our association is only running on donations. We don't have incomes. We don't have subsidy or anything, any kind of that. Only donations.
Yes.
Well, the donation is getting less and less and less and less, and since the corona pandemic, is that even more less. So we simply don't have the money for it. So and we're crying for water, and we see farmers here, they stealing water out of the lakes, riding all day with these big tanks, but
Yeah.
nobody is taking care of us, you know. So it's
Okay.
very complicated.
I get it. I get it, Francois. I'm sure people listening do too as well. We've got your website on the screen now. And I mean, that's something that somebody could help with if they're an animal lover and they've got cash to spare in a situation that you describe where increasingly people have less cash to spare, but there may be somebody who can help you with a one-off on the, it sounds like a Bowser of water that gets delivered by the Bomberos, which is a very precious commodity now, but they, for 190 euros, they'll deliver that to you and then you'll be all right giving the animals water at least. There. And if people go to the website, which I've also put into the chat now, people can find out for themselves how to help. Because, of course, donating is one way, but actually adopting an animal presumably is another way of or coming and helping as a human being. Can you do with more human power on the site as well right now?
Oh yes, oh yes. We need always people here who wanted to help for a week or 2 weeks or maybe longer. They can
Yeah.
stay. We have rooms, we have bunk beds ready for them.
Okay.
But also, it is very difficult to get people at the moment. Seems like everybody doesn't want to come out of houses anymore, or so. It is, yeah, very difficult.
Okay, I understand. I think people really do understand all the I guess it's the, a perfect storm of combinations that's making life very difficult for your project at the moment. But for some people who do want to visit Portugal and want something important and useful to do, they could come as a volunteer and be with you and help out on the land there by the sound of it.
Exactly, yeah. And we have a lot to do because it is not only the animals, we have a garden with
Yeah,
our own vegetables to grow that needs to be weeding.
yeah,
We need builders who can really build, who can construct walls and better pen for the animals. There's
yeah.
always work to do here on site.
I get it. I get it. And Fiona's got a couple of questions for you, Francois, while you're on. So presumably you and Elizabeth are the heads of the project here, the founders of the project?
Yeah, Elizabeth is the president and I'm the vice president. And we have a couple of other members. We have members and we have volunteers. And the members they can be on board and can stay here permanently. They can get their own space and they can start their own project if they want within our association.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, every help, little help, is help. So it
Is
doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if it's small, doesn't matter if it's big. Every help is help, and at the moment
absolutely.
we need just a lot of help.
Yeah. Okay. Is the pump broken or is the well dry? What is the situation with your water? Fiona's asking there, Francois.
We have a well, and that is drinkable water. So
Okay.
if we pump it up, we drink it.
Yes.
Water. But the pump is broke. It doesn't pump the water anymore. It is a lot of air what is inside, and we cannot get the air out. So the pump cannot take the water out the well. The pressure is what happened. We don't have a clue what happened. We tried everything to get this pump work, but the pump will not work. And a new pump is also about 150 euro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds not a lot of money, but every euro here is a lot of money.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that's all there is. The water pump or water delivered or whatever, because the horses drink a lot of water, and
Yeah.
especially now during the heat.
Yeah.
Um, and the rest of the animals, yeah, 25 dogs drink also a lot of water.
Yes.
And the cats and even the people need water here for to cook or to drink by themselves. So
Yeah.
water is so important here, and of course animal food. animal food is also a huge problem at the moment. It is very difficult to get. The prices are sky high.
Of
A
course,
bag euro is now 25 euros. So it is ridiculous prices.
yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Okay, Francois, thank you for describing the situation. Another question that Fiona had was you're helping people as well as animals, you say. So is that in terms of people coming to stay and getting a break in the countryside and maybe doing a bit of volunteering?
Well, we have people here with issues as well.
Uh-huh.
We have cancer patients who need their last days, hours, or weeks in what they self wish for, an outdoor lifestyle, that they are more with the nature.
Yes.
So, and we have um, um, divorced women with children who can't live anywhere because they are placed out the house, and they need to start up their life again.
Yeah.
So here they can come. They can come to rest. They can do something with the animals. They can put on their mind on something else.
Very
And
good.
when they are ready to go, when they are ready to go into the society again, then they can leave whatever they want. But
Yeah.
that's also a part of our project. Yeah.
I totally get it. So that's a really important part of community work that you're doing, and now it's you that
Yeah.
needs some help from the community as well. Francois, thank you for
Exactly.
being here this morning. Can I give out? I mean, what is the best way for people to get in touch? Can I give them the WhatsApp number that you were
Yeah.
communicating with? That's okay, is it?
You can give my WhatsApp number if you have it now.
Is that the one that ends in
Uh,
274?
no.
Okay, go on then.
Okay.
Tell me what it is.
Okay. Stop because always I'm not so many times call my own number. I always say.
Yeah.
But my number is
Sorry, start again.
936
936
758
758
579.
579. So I've got 936 758 579 is the
Yes.
number for Valeverde community project, basically for animals and all living beings who need a little bit of help. And they need your help at the moment. So please see what you can do to help. It's not just cash, although that would be extremely useful at the moment with the situation as you've heard there with the pump. I've put your number onto the into the chat now for people. There it is on the screen now. Sounds like a wonderful project, says Fiona. I will think of a way to help. Sadly, we are struggling financially at the moment too. I've been looking for projects supporting people in need as well as the animals, as this is my project too. So there you go, Fiona. We might mention this again tonight on the gardening show, which is 6:15 tonight. For anybody who's looking for a horticultural opportunity, volunteering opportunity, this would be perfect for them. What an immensely precious project, says Michelle as well. I will watch the replay to see how to be of help, says Louise as well, our great friend over there at Solo 50 Plus Expat Portugal. The donation site PayPal is not working well. I managed to sort much of it, but then lost on the page. So somebody was ready to give you a donation there, but your PayPal seems to be a bit dodgy. Precious Animals says the OLP. Do they have WhatsApp? Yeah, there's the WhatsApp, Fiona. Please figure out a way to get in touch and to make a donation if you possibly can. Thank you very much.
I
Go on,
can
Francois.
interrupt
Yeah,
for a little moment. The
yeah.
PayPal on the website is indeed the name is changed to the PayPal, so
Right.
it is another email address. But I will give the email address through WhatsApp if people are interested. I will give that through WhatsApp. No problem.
Okay, thanks, Francois. Do that now. Give me the email address for the right email address of PayPal, and we'll make sure people have got that right away to save them any other barriers. I'll just let everybody know that tonight, as I said, at 6:15, if you can send me that on WhatsApp or in the private chat, that'd be great, Francois, and I'll publish that for people. But yeah, 6:15 is the Get Out and Grow project. It's the Happy Homesteaders at 6:15 tonight with Anna and John and head gardener Lee McGrady, of course, answering all your questions and inquiries about gardening anywhere in the world, specifically, obviously, here in Portugal. But we have people tuning in from Mexico, from the United States, from Australia, I believe, all over the world, Canada. It is, just donate, just managed to donate through PayPal, says Jackie Brooks. So you should have something coming through. Donation waiting to be sent from Patrick. Thanks, everybody. What a worthy cause, says Simon. We need to be able to send money, so we're going to do our best to get the right email address to you. Have they tried for external funding? The Dogs Trust UK, Worldwide Veterinary Services, Marchie Trust. Maybe you could WhatsApp to them, Pips, as well with your knowledge there. PayPal sucks for donating. Yes, it does, doesn't it, sometimes? But somebody has managed to do that, which is great. 10 o'clock tonight, I'm on with Will Thompson. My question to you is this on the My Question to You Is This podcast at 10 o'clock. Was Will Thompson right? Some of you will know Will Thompson, quite outspoken about what was going on during the pandemic, and a crazy man to some people, a voice of reason to others. We're asking the question tonight at 10 o'clock, was Will Thompson right with his assertions throughout? You get a chance to, some of you I know love him. Some of you struggle with what he has to say. But of course, you can ask him direct yourself when he joins me at 10 o'clock this evening on the podcast. Namely, my question to you is this. We've got Francois back again now. Let's get that pump repaired, says Simon. So I think money's coming in to pay for the pump repair, Francois. Have we got that email address of yours now for the correct giving on PayPal?
Yeah, I have some difficulties with the internet and the echo.
Yeah, no worries.
But the PayPal address at the moment is a small F from Ferdinand.
Yes.
Then the numbers 1.
Yep.
8 5 4
Yep.
3 2
Yep.
at gmail.com.
Okay, so what I've got for that, everybody, should you wish to help out on the project here, Valverde, is F 185432 at gmail.com. That is on the screen for you now. Hopefully that is correct and will be helpful to you, Francois, and to you, Elizabeth, and all the creatures you've got there. Could you just tell us one more time how many animals and who are they on the site there?
We have about 25 dogs.
Yeah.
There's, they all have their own history. They were beaten. They were really 4 legs broken, or
my goodness,
here, or they just throw out the cars in front of the gates.
Yeah.
A lot of vet costs, but we take this. Then we have 43 cats.
Wow.
Also all replaced, or from people who left Portugal, went home to Holland, England, or Germany, and didn't took their animal with them.
My goodness.
We have 2 horses. They originally come from France. They were there beaten and had a very terrible life, and they are staying here till they die. And then we have a lot of chickens, ducks, goose. That's actually what people are buying for us when from the markets, so they don't land up in the fry pan or on the fires, but get a decent life here. And we can use the eggs for ourselves. So they help us, we help them.
Yeah,
that's a little bit about. We have 1 goat, Barbara the goat. Yeah,
Barbara the goat. Okay, brilliant, Francois.
We literally have saved her from the fire.
Wow!
Just before she should be killed for it. Yeah. So
amazing.
it's a lot of things, a lot of food, a lot of mouths to feed and to drink, and help we need. People can help here 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, whatever they want. Every help is welcome. And donations to get water or to repair the pump, or yeah, we have always things what has to be done.
There you go. Francois, thank you so much. Love to Barbara the Goat and love to Elizabeth. And thank you, Owen, for connecting us up in this way this morning. Good luck to you. Come back and let us know how it's going, won't you?
Thank you for having me during this interview on the radio. I wish you very luck with further radio activities, and I hope people will get a little bit the people get thinking about other things than the usual life, that there is also something else. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Francois. We're going to leave it there for today. We'll see you tomorrow, or indeed on the gardening show tonight, or on my question to you this podcast this evening. Otherwise, see you in the morning. Ciao. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gilda and James. Bye for now. Ciao.
Ciao.